Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VIII. I'm the mysterious JG. So I don't know how many videos I'm going to record in this session because I kind of need to step away from this game and work on some other stuff. But I finished hours of off-screen grinding at triple speed. Otherwise, it would have been an unbearable amount of time. Because all the things I've read about power leveling in Final Fantasy VIII suggest waiting until Disc 3 to do it, so that you can do it with two characters at once. I did it with one character at a time because the stuff that I read about power grinding was all written for the PS1 version, and the fact that you can do it at triple speed makes it just a lot more bearable. And I thought I'd keep mentioning this. I've gotten completely caught up on All Dragon's ongoing Let's Play of Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is just called, as he points out himself, it's just called Final Fantasy VII Remake, even though it appears to be the first in a series of games, because they're going to split the story across multiple games in a, the Hobbit-style bullshit festival. But I have to stop talking about that because he's not plugging my series. Why do I keep plugging his? Anyway, the point is, I got completely caught up on something where I was, probably like 20, 30 videos behind. So, maybe not 30, but it was quite a few videos behind. So you can tell I put in a lot of time, but all characters are now at level 100. And all characters are more or less micromanaged so that their hit points got to exactly where they needed to be to get 9999 hit points with 100 times full life junction to it, without using one of their ability slots for something like hit points plus 20%. The exceptions being that with Renoa, I gave her too many levels of hit point because I think what must have happened is I gave her hit point plus items along the way and forgot and didn't take it into account. And then with Irvine, I screwed up, and I would have had to gone back and redo 2 or 3 hours of leveling and decided it wasn't worth it. But Irvine didn't quite make it. I didn't give him enough levels with HP boost as his active ability, so he doesn't quite have enough hit points to have 9999 with 100 times full life junction. So any more hit point plus items I find, and you can go out and craft them using in-game ingredients, which I'll have to do at some point if I want everyone to be perfect. But yeah, with Irvine, I messed up, and he actually needs some. So Renoa actually ended up, as I come across magic and strength plus items, Renoa is probably the first candidate to get those because she should have had another level or two of receiving that. Renoa is also the only character where... so you only have 4 slots, right? That's the most ability slots you can have. And there's a total of 5 boost at level up abilities that you can get. Hit point up, strength up, magic up, vitality up, spirit up. So you always have to choose one bonus that your character doesn't get at level up. And basically the 2 ways to do it are either ignore hit points because it's the easiest one to compensate for using abilities like hit points plus 80% in one of your ability slots later, or get hit points to where they are at 9999, which doesn't require having the hit point bonus equipped the entire time if you junction it to 100 times full life. So just have like 40 or 50 levels of it be that, and then the rest of them use your other 4 abilities, and just pick whichever ability is least important to your character, which is always going to be either magic or strength, because everybody benefits from physical defense, which is vitality. Everybody benefits from magic defense, which is spirit. But some characters have musos that are based on physical damage, like Squall does, and some characters have musos that are based on their... Not musos. I keep saying musos. Overdrives or limit breaks or whatever they call them in this game. Limit breaks. Some characters have limit breaks that are based on their magic stats. Selphie is a magic-based limit break. Squall has a physical. Zell has physical. I think Irvine's is physical. And then the 2 characters who are described as needing a balanced build by this guide I was reading are Renoa and Kaitis. And I don't really understand. I think because Kaitis has different blue magic limit breaks, and maybe some of them are based on physical and some of them are based on magic. And with Renoa, I really am not sure. But anyway, Renoa is the only one where I had probably about 30 or so or 40 levels worth of her with magic instead of physical, and then 10 so levels of physical, just so that she wouldn't be completely unbalanced towards magic with no physical. Renoa is the hardest character to figure out how you're supposed to level her up. But I think if you got Renoa at level 100 and you've been giving her level up boosts throughout, she is still going to be more powerful than she would be if she just played the game normally. And it's all going to be fine. And then if I spend any time refining step, this is all based on me wanting to beat Omega Weapon, because I've never beaten Omega Weapon in this game. And I'm trying to beat Omega Weapon legit, because there are special items that you can give your characters, like, complete invulnerability to damage using certain crazy high-end items, which I've never really used because it breaks the game entirely. So there are strategies based on beating Omega that way. But I want to see if I can legit beat Omega Weapon, which is where a lot of this is coming from. Anyway. But yeah, so I did all that, and then I wasn't planning to actually pick this game up again this weekend. But then when I saved and I went to rest to heal up my characters after laying them out for future adventures, and this happened. You go lay down in your bed, and the screen goes black, and it says, you defeated the four suits. You've proven yourself worthy. The CC group leader, the Cardmaster King, is I, Kitus Trep, all decked out in my uniform. I did wonder about that. Squall, you really are something. I can't believe how much your game has improved. The way that you've got Renault all wet and bothered... Sorry, not that game. I knew we were destined to play. Let's begin. And you don't get a choice. So what I didn't check to see is whether she has any special cards I need to win. But I suppose since you don't have the ability to challenge her whenever you want, maybe we can challenge her on the deck of the ship from now on. I can't believe she thinks I'm this epic card player, but she's trying to show me up by having a deck that includes a Caterpillar. Yeah, actually, her cards are really weak now that I look at them. That Sphinxar she laid down with one of its best sides facing away, off the edge of the playing field, is that, and that... I forget what it is, the big winged thing that's like a respec of one of the first... Those are the only two semi-decent cards. Yeah, she has a terrible deck. Interesting. But stupid. And it's the all trading rule, so I have no real obligation to win by more than one, which I'm going to do. So this was a really easy victory considering she's the Grand Master. And I know I sound full of myself. I've had hours of playing this game during which I had a chance to, until just now, forget that the last thing you guys saw was me losing against someone with a way weaker hand because I was just not paying attention to what I was doing. And then not accepting that because it would have taken me... I'm not usually one for safe scumming your way through problems, but in that case it was like, it's going to take me forever to make up for this one stupid goof because I was being lazy. So I'm going to just load the game and not accept. But anyway, here we won a Sphinxar, which I guess we never had before, but that's not a unique card. That's just one that doesn't get used that much, so... I can't believe I lost. Well, I can. You played terrible cards. What the hell? Don't get too cocky just yet. We can challenge each other as equals from now on. I'm always up for a game, but only in the garden cockpit. No, gameplay function-wise, I get it, but there's no universe explanation for why that would be. See you later, Squall. Well, there you go. So that is, and as you can see, I've got everybody's level 100, and everybody, because Irvine's not in the party, everybody has 9,999 hit points. If Irvine was in the party, there would be this one embarrassing person with 9,800 and something hit points, and it's just, he would clearly be the chicken wuss of the team. I've got Squall chillaxing with Renoa and Selfie. I think I brought along Renoa to the extent that it matters, which it obviously doesn't. The level up order was Squall, then Kitus, then Selphie, then Irvine, then Zell, then Renoa. I leveled up Kitus first, because at one point I wasn't sure I was going to level everybody up in one go. I thought I might level up a couple of characters to 100, and then use them on screen so I didn't have to worry about killing enemies, and eventually level up other characters later. And then I just decided, what the hell, I'm actually getting caught up on something I've been trying to watch, so I just went and did everybody, so we won't have to worry about it anymore. So at one point I was like, well, I'll level up Kitus first, because I remember reading something about how she's a good character to use to help level others. And I was also thinking, like, okay, as we have these fights now, with Squall at level 100, he just comes across as so much more powerful than everyone else. And that doesn't feel too bad, because the whole story is building him up as the big leader. And by far the most capable combat professional of the group. And that's in character for Squall. Whatever else is wrong with Squall, he does, like, carry himself as somebody who would be good at this job. So then I got to thinking, well, okay, so in decreasing order, who else comes across as a competent, like, quasi-military professional, in the sense of military professional being like some goofy teenager from a flying school? And the only person you could even argue comes across as squared away and professional, that you could even argue maybe they're as squared away and professional a soldier type as Squall is. The only person who's even close is Kitus, who used to be an actual instructor. After that, you can kind of take your pick of anybody who's from Seed, because the only one who's obviously not is Renoa. You know, it's not that I hate Renoa as a character, but yeah, her character is that she's the daughter of an important Galbadian military leader. And to an extent that isn't clear, it's the teenage rebel, like, with daddy issues thing is driving her to actually be a political rebel fighting for Timber. It's like, how much of that is her caring about Timber and how much of that is her wanting to get back at daddy is never entirely clear. Because she's not even from Timber. I believe she's supposed to be from Dalit City and just is rebelling against her dad. And also, there's all sorts of scenes throughout the story. It's happened more than once where she breaks down and needs to be rescued by Squall, and that's, you know, it's fine. You know, having every story have, like, a really independent female lead who doesn't need to be rescued, like, if that's every story now to make up for it having not been the story before, that gets just as old. But Renoa is, you know, she's perfectly competent as long as she's with the team, but she's gone out on her own to try to, like, defeat the sorceress. But we've had multiple scenes of when she gets rescued, she says she just couldn't do it, she just couldn't fight alone, she just didn't have the strength when Squall wasn't with her. And that's, you know, you can decide whether that's sweet and romantic or whether that's craven and embarrassing, whatever. But the point is, she is not the combat professional, cold, hard badass. So I leveled her up last. Also because it's vaguely, I don't know, at some point I was just really sick of Irvine and Zell, so having, like, a female in the party again was just something to look forward to as I was just grinding for levels, so I saved her for last. But yeah, after Kitus, I think after Kitus, I can't remember if I did Selphie next. I think I did Selphie next, and then I realized, I don't want to just do all the girls, so I better switch to the guys, and I did Irvine before Zell, because other than cracking up when it was time to shoot the sorceress, and he did pull himself together eventually, Irvine, other than the weird cockiness and creeping on the girls thing, does come across as, you know, a professional in his field. And Zell is a dink, so he was last of the non-Renoa characters. Anyway. They're all leveled up now. We can do a stats comparison on the people who aren't in the party, because the people who are in the party have stuff junctioned, and I don't want to redo it, because it took me actually forever to set them up. Although, as you'll see, even that's all messed up. It's based on what's available to them, but, like right now, Selphie Squall has nothing junction to Spirit. He still has over 100. And that was the main one where I was trying to come up with something where everybody's got something junction to all their main stuff, but it's not quite possible at this point. Couple more GFs, and we should be able to get it to where everybody has something junction to the main 5 at all times. And Selfie is like 4 times as fast as the others because she's the only one with anything junction to speed. It's kind of unfortunate. Squall has a really high hit percentage anyway, but I guess it was a little sloppy that he's the one who has hit percentage junction because he now has 255 hit percentage. So Squall's never going to miss with a physical attack. And with this party, he's the one you'd want hitting all the time. But as you can see, it's interesting. There's mild differences between their strength output, even with all of them having Tornado, but it's pretty minor. And then, wow. Oh, some of this is abilities. She has Vitality plus 40%. I was like, why is her Vitality so much higher than anyone else's? But anyway. But the people whose raw stats without anything else we can compare are down here. And you can see Zell's got like a weaker magic. Zell and Irvine have magic stats that are significantly lower, like 40 or 50 lower than Kitus, because she always had magic boost equipped. But their strength stats are like 40 or 50 higher than hers because they always had strength equipped. So you can see everybody's stats are great, but there's just slight differences, and everybody's like somehow maybe natural stat progression of the characters who I don't think have the same ending stats. If you don't, if you're not manipulating them at all, I think their ending stats are slightly different from each other. But there's the variation between Vitality is like less than 10. Because they all had Vitality plugged in for the entire time to the extent that I could do it. Same thing goes for Spirit. It's less than 10 variation. And then evade percentage is exactly the same. So whatever. That's maybe not that interesting. Maybe I should move on. But I'll certainly want to save now. Hey, and now that I'm thinking about it, we've actually reversed the party from the one point in the game where I didn't do this by design, but now that I think about it, this was the party that Irvine decided to take with him when he wanted to go have his sexy adventure to Dalit City. So I think I should have brought Zell with me because I think we need to do a scene with him and the ponytail girl. I'm bored. It's nice to be able to visit other cities, but if you're not careful, you could be left behind. Follow the turmoil with Galbadia the Sorceress. It's dangerous. So that wasn't actually her. There's a weird book somewhere in the library. What kind of book it is? I don't know, but it's a weird one. Can't believe the garden's moving. Sure is something, ain't it? I came to the library to see if I could find books on the mechanics of it all. I guess there's worse things you could be doing. Matter of fact, probably wish somebody like Squall had ordered people to research how the hell this works, because at the moment no one seems to know how or why it works. Did you hear that the library's going to order books that we want? Yeah, they're gathering requests from students now. Oh, I want mystery novels all the way. Huh. Yeah, now that those pain-in-the-neck faculty are gone, the library's actually willing to stock books that we want. Yeah, that's the problem with colleges. They have faculties. If we could get rid of college faculties, colleges would be really great. They would serve a useful purpose if it was just students getting together and just, getting all drunk. I'm all for fiction. And with you, baby, I'm all for friction. Alright, so I think I was supposed to bring, there's Zell, the Kung Fu City from Gangster City. The Kung Fu hippie from Gangster City. Fuji and Raiji and Cypher. They'll be our enemies next time. Well, I'm gonna make them snap out of it with these fists of mine. The fact that Zell is hanging around makes me kind of curious about whether I could be finding other party members than Zell if I just wandered around. I'm not going to bother trying to get hot dogs. I know it's not going to work. Like, if I can find Irvine or anybody... Oh, and by the way, you'll also notice my seed rank went up. 30, I believe, is the max. My seed rank went up from fighting in the... Because I did do all my fighting in the training grounds to max out the seed rank benefit. Oh, and I did the money earning trick once or twice where you... I suppose I should show it on camera sometimes. It's all menu stuff. It's not exactly fascinating, but you use Call Shop, which is an ability we got from Tonberry, where basically means that I can just go into these menus and open up the shops that we've encountered in the game. And thanks to... These are grayed out because they're not active things you can choose. They're passive. But because of Haggle and Sell High, you can now buy tents, 100 tents, then you use Recovery, Medicine, Refine. I can't do it right... Well, I guess I could. You can refine tents into Mega Potions. What I have is the remainders from the last time I successfully did this. You refine tents into Mega Potions. You do that multiple times until you have 100 Mega Potions, and then you sell 100 Mega Potions, and they cost significantly more than the tents you used to make them, and it's just a money trick, which is why we currently have 3.3 million gold. Which will eventually get completely swallowed up if I try to use the refining tricks to make strength plus items and vitality plus items, etc., to try to get people's stats even higher. But now I'm just kind of vaguely curious, can I encounter... If I can encounter Irvine or Kitus... Well, I know where Kitus is. If I can find Irvine somewhere... That'll mean, in theory, it's worth wandering around the whole place looking for... Like kick Renoa and Selfie out of the party and see where they are and what they have to say if you just... find them chillaxing in the zone. I know they're not in the training center. Well, I'm pretty sure they're not. But I can't find Irvine, and I'm starting to think just Zell, he didn't show up there last time. My interest in this is waning. So let's just go... I'll check the second floor real quick. But like if I'm wandering around and I come across Irvine in a corner and you can talk to him, that will mean that it would in theory be worth kicking Renoa and Selfie out just to see if we can encounter them too if they're not in the party. But because it looks like there's not a 100% chance they'll spawn each time, it feels like you could spend a lot of time... Well, never mind. It is a thing. Tough choice. Now, do I go for the girl with the pigtail or the one with the bob? Or how about that brunette? So, like, I've been thinking about this for a while now. Maybe you should loosen up a bit. You'll be sure to get girls that way. He really doesn't talk about anything else. Like, every time there's some in-game plot thing where Irvine shows competence... and I think they're actually going to develop his character, it just goes right back to this. Now, while we're in the room... we could try to take a seed written exam. Let's just do that real quick. What I'm going to do, give me 1 second. I'm going to... because this game is old, and it's a Final Fantasy game, so every nook and cranny of it has been thoroughly explored by nerds. I'm going to do, like, FF8 written exams, or seed exams, and just... Yeah, there's various places where they've got the entire cheat sheet for the game. Okay. So let's just take one of these so you can see what it is. That'll get us up to the maximum seed rank. And we'll just... Oh, never mind. You don't even do it here. I thought you did it from here. Okay. Not message from garden, damn it. And for some reason... Oh. Yeah, the confirm and cancel is not the same here as it is everywhere else. Test. Will you take the level 1 test? Okay, so there's a total of 30 tests, which means you could literally start at level 1 and get all the way to level 30, but you only have a total of 30 tests you can take, and your seed rank decreases over time if you're not advancing the story. So you kind of need to not get to the point where it takes you 30 exams to keep your test. The draw command, and they get tougher as they go. So question 1, the draw command extracts magic from enemies. Yes. GF stands for Garden Fighter. No. It stands for Guardian Force, I think. There are a total of 8 elemental attributes. Yes. In battle, the higher strength stat causes more physical damage. Yes. HPJ is a junction ability. Yes. You can't assign specific abilities for your GF to learn. No. Magic uses MP. No, there's no MP in this game. You can name your GF. Yes. I think I knew all the answers without the cheat sheet in front of me, but you can wear protective gear. No, this game doesn't actually have equipment at all other than weapons. GF level up with AP. I probably would have said yes because I learned abilities, but they mean no. They're actual level increases with experience. So it's no. And you pass with 100%. I don't know how many you need to pass, but that's enough. So now we've got the highest possible seed rank. And while we're here in the room, let's see if Selfie has updated the Laguna page for those Tim Mannies that we've discovered. Because the school festival committee has become Selfie's personal homepage. Literally, like the school festival committee has her friends and her diary. And it doesn't look like Sir Laguna's page is updated. I made a friend. I think I'll have my friends write stuff here. Squall won't. Hello, this is Kitus Trepp. I've been quite busy with my seed duties. How's everyone doing with their studies and training? For all those working towards becoming a seed and everyone else, just remember, have fun. Why do I always end up sounding like an instructor? Perhaps I'm a little too serious. Why so serious? Well, then again, why are you putting this in your entry? It's one of my little pet peeves in any kind of, like... It happens more in fantasy fiction, or maybe juvenile fiction, where... Or maybe it's just a J-pop fiction thing, where you have a character writing something about how, like, is their inner questioning themselves that they shouldn't be writing. Not at all, Kitus. We really look up to you. And it's nothing indicating that Sir Laguna's page is updated, so let's just get out. Well, now I'm threatening to have this video go long, even though I was only going to do one, but there's just 2 little rinky-dink things I wanted to do.